Alright guys, well today we're going to be doing a review on my HeatMaster G10,000 outdoor wood boiler. It's been about pretty close to 1 year, and I've had it running non-stop for at least every day since I've turned it on. So I wanted to give a review on it, my thoughts, the pros and cons, what I think, how it's been since we've had it, any issues we've had, customer support, and so on. So like I said, this is their biggest gasification unit. It's the G10,000, and I believe I got it last October. I think I got it actually in July. I didn't install it or get it up and running till early October, about now. So just like anything else, it was a little bit of a learning curve. You know, obviously wood burns and so on. So it's not a traditional outdoor wood boiler where you can put in gigantic chunks. I mean, you can, but my thoughts on it are, the way I have it to burning the most efficient is wood that's cut like this, right? Just the normal splits, dry wood, or dry enough to burn. When I say dry enough, I mean 25% and down is ideal. It's just going to burn the most efficient. It doesn't take a lot of wood. It probably, I mean, I don't know, I've never had a traditional outdoor, but I know a lot of people who do, and it's very efficient. So what we heat is a 3,000 square foot house, the hot water, 3,000 square foot garage, another 2,000 square foot garage, and then I have a snow melt system for new concrete, which that's probably 4,000 square feet of concrete that I heat, all with this outdoor wood boiler. And now it also heats my my firewood kiln as well. So, and it does all that just fine. So if I'm just heating just for the house and the hot water, if we're just doing the burn season, I'd say it probably burns, I don't know, 3 to 4 full cords of wood, maybe, if it's just the winter. But I've heated it all summer just for the hot water, and it maybe burns 4 or 5 sticks of wood a day, obviously depending on how much you're using the hot water. I mean, we give our kids baths every other day, give or take, depending on what they're doing outside. It's very efficient. It's pretty much just to keep the fire going is all you really need to throw in there in the summer. For it being that big of a unit, it's pretty efficient. It's pretty basic. When I first got it, I would always come out here and check on it, looking at the settings and this and that. I mean, go online, you read everybody, what they all say, and everyone's, you know, it all depends on how you have it set up, what kind of pumps you have, what kind of underground pipe you have, how much heat loss, this and this and this. I can say, if you're going to do it right the first time. You know, buy the higher end pipe, buy the, you know, PEX wise, that is, depending on how you have it set up. Like, we have a heat exchanger in the plenum on our furnace, which blows, you know, central air, I guess you could say, which blows into our house. I have a sidearm kit on my hot water tank. So we haven't used any natural gas since this thing's been up and running, which is great. As far as electricity goes to run it, it's really just a fan and running the pumps year round. And from what I've noticed, I don't even know if you can notice our electric bill go up at all. So, because you take in the fact that, you know, the gas hot water tank, that fan's not running. You're not burning any gas. The furnace, all it's running is just the fan. So we have a different thermostat for that. The maintenance on the boiler, it's pretty easy. So as long as you don't really have to do anything up there except for scrape the sides where the air intakes are. There's little holes all the way down. You just take the supplied tool, which is this guy here, and you scrape the sides just to get whatever creosote built up that you have. So otherwise, your normal maintenance is you crack this door open, you open it all the way, and you scrape out the fly ash on the bottom where the combustion chamber is, when the gases come down and go all the way around. I do that once a week, roughly every Sunday, especially in the burn season. I do it once a week. In the summer, I probably do it every 2 to 3 weeks. In the inside there, when you refill it every day or every 12 hours, depending on how you do it, you stir up the coals, throw wood in, and shut the door. Pretty simple. In the back here, let me move this here. This whole door opens up, and this is where your dampeners are, where your fan is, and your pumps. So these dampeners, as you can tell, I just went into might be a timer cycle. This is a top dampener where the holes are on the top. This bottom one is not even opened yet, but this goes for the gasification on the bottom. It lets it have more air or not enough air. Your drain for the tank. My pump's a circulator pump for the water in the tank. And then this one goes to our house. This one goes to the garages. I'd say every 4 to 6 months I do clean this. I take the dampener off, I clean the plates. So I'll be doing that here shortly before the winter burn season. I'll take them both off, clean it. This top piece here, you take these 4 nuts off on both sides, you pop this off, you unplug the fan, and you get in there where the turbulators are, and you suck out the fly ash, which I do. I know some guys have said they don't do that, but I don't recommend that at all because it does build up in there. So you do need to do it. I do it once a month, especially in the cold winter burn season. But other than that, it's been pretty flawless. I haven't had any issues with it. There was a couple days where I'd wake up in the morning and it's all burnt out. That just means I didn't anticipate how cold or the heat draw I'm gonna have. But that was a learning curve. That was right off the get-go. Since then, I haven't had any issues. Once you start using it, you kind of get accustomed to how much wood you need to throw in there, depending on what you're all heating. You can throw in more than that you really need, but ideally you kind of just want to load it for the 12-hour burn time. Every 12 hours is ideal. You get really good coals depending on the wood that you're burning. It burns efficiently. You're not wasting wood. I've done a couple tests, which if you look at my other videos, packing it full and just heating the house in the hot water, how many days can I get out of it? I've gone 3.5 days, and this is when it was pretty cold. This is when it was like in the 20s or so, 10 degrees. We had a snowstorm and whatnot. So you can leave. I just have water in this guy going to the house and back. So as long as you don't lose power and you have the pump still running, it shouldn't freeze. Unless it's like extremely, extremely cold. But then again, I still don't think it would freeze. I have it where the whole garage now, which I haven't mentioned to you guys yet, but I have a transfer switch put in. I can hook my generator up, run the whole garage. Eventually it's all going to be solar. So we did lose power in the middle of the winter last year for like 6 hours, and it was in the middle of the night. I wasn't kind of prepared for it, but I got the generator out, plugged in the boiler just to get it up and running so the water would flow. I mean, it was cold. So non-flowing water in the ground, I think, is going to freeze pretty quick. I mean, it was really cold. So I flew out here and did that. So that's really the only drawback, is if you lose power in the winter, if you're just running water instead of glycol. And I don't think I'll ever do glycol because the heat transfer is not the same. And I have it in my snow melt, but that's a different story. And it's very expensive. It'd be nice to have, but it will eventually, since it's an open system, it will gain moisture in there and it'll lose its freeze point. So what else? I did buy an extra fan in case this one burns out. This one's been just fine, but I wanted to have spare parts. I have extra pumps to throw on in case one of these go, which one of mine did go for whatever reason in the summer. So the manufacturer sent me a new one because it was within warranty. Obviously, HeatMaster doesn't supply the pumps except for the circulator pump in the boiler. I think it was just a fluke, so I got a new one for that. So it's good to have spare parts, but a lot of people, I feel, overthink buying a boiler, and it's going to be a lot of maintenance, a lot of tinkering and stuff. Maybe off the get-go when you're learning the system, but the HeatMaster gasification units are extremely easy to use. They're user friendly. I mean, you got the gauge on the side, which tells you exactly what's going on, right? So, like right now, hopefully you can read that. You know, it says it's in idle. It's 173.7 degrees. The percentage is 4.2 for oxygen. Top air and the bottom air dampeners are closed. They're at 0%. But you can adjust all the settings right here. I have mine all connected to Wi-Fi, so I can monitor this on my phone. I can adjust it on my phone, I believe. I've never done that, never had to. You can adjust the timer settings, how long you want it to turn back on to keep the fire going, and how long a duration. Change the percentage of wood that you're putting in there. If it's really dry, if it's wet, that does make a difference. I've done a couple tests on that where I've changed the parameters to allow or accustom to how dry my wood is. Because most of my wood is 12, 15%. And now that I have the kiln, whenever I have cutoffs, I throw it in the kiln to dry, and I just throw it right in the boiler. I throw it in as an extra one. So my wood's really dry. If you throw in wetter wood, it will burn. You're going to get a lot of moisture built up in the inside of the main box. You're going to get a lot of creosote. That's normal. Does it run as efficiently? No. It's going to run a lot longer. You're probably going to go through more wood. It's just not going to run efficiently. So you want dry wood. Even if you got a traditional outdoor wood boiler, you'll say you throw in whatever you want. That's true. But it isn't going to run efficiently. It may take twice, 3, 4 times as long to get the water temperature back up. So have your wood ready to go. You know, if you can't split it and stack it ahead of time and dry it, buy it. Make sure it's dry though. That's the key. You're going to have issues if your wood's not dry or dry enough to burn. That's as simple as that. So I always have a blowtorch close to it in case I do have to restart it, like if I'm away or nobody can add wood to it. Usually all you have to do is hit the cold start button, stir it up a little bit. You're going to have hot coals. And if you do, all you do is throw wood in there and shut the door. Now if you don't, it goes out, which I've had that. I throw in a bunch of wood. You light it from the top. I just put the blowtorch on the top. You turn it on cold start. It instantly starts to get going, and you just shut the door and walk away. It's pretty easy. I mean, I don't even stress on this. I don't think about it. I look outside to see if I see any condensation coming out of the stack in the middle of the winter. So my all thoughts on this unit, was it worth it? 100%. We used to burn inside the house, inside the shop. So I'd have 2 fires going. House wouldn't be heated evenly because we're burning at a wood stove in one room. I mean, the first floor is really hot. Upstairs is a lot colder. Now it's all pretty efficiently. All we gotta do is touch the thermostat as long as the boiler's going. It's really nice. So now I'm heating, the house, the hot water, 2 garages, snow melt, and I'm heating 6 different things currently, or will be, off of this boiler. So, and any boiler can do that, but you need a lot of capacity to be able to heat that much BTUs. I'm well over 10,000 BTU supply than this thing can produce, but it handles it no problem. If they made a bigger gasification unit, I'd probably buy it, but they don't, at least not currently. So I give them 2 thumbs up, 5-star. They've been, if I had any questions, they would get back to me pretty quick. The only other issue I did have was the nozzle on it, which is where the gasification, all the gases and smoke go down into the combustion chamber. So the nozzle piece didn't really hold up at all. It was like started to warp because of all the intense heat, so they sent me a new one. Didn't really fit the greatest, but I got it in there. And now I haven't had an issue whatsoever, so they were really good about it. They overnighted it once they had it made, and I had it, so I used what I had in the meantime. But other than that, it's pretty easy. I mean, you do have the float gauge on the top to let you know where the water is, where the water level is. So I mean, it's pretty simple. I have the bottom door with the lock on it because I do have little kids, and you do not want them to open that, especially when it's running. It would not be good. So it has holes so you can lock them. I mean, you got the levers on the side. It's real easy, and it's a nice looking unit. I have mine indoors, as you can tell. I want to keep it as nice as I can, out of the elements. So yeah, no, I've enjoyed it. I love my boiler. I love burning. So, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, you want to know anything about the HeatMaster G10,000 or G series, I'm pretty knowledgeable on it. Any scenarios or anything you guys want to know that I skipped or missed, send me a comment, and I will respond. I do look at them all. I try to respond as quickly as I see them. So yeah, all in all, I'd give them a thumbs up. I'm very happy with them. Maintenance is easy. It runs like it should. So, but yeah, as always, keep burning.